back to another episode of the Whatever Buddy podcast. Episode 111 of the WBP is here and ready for takeoff. On today's episode, Johnny's got a gun threat. The Roxy on Sunset Strip just ain't the same. Sick New World gets canceled. Have you ever had to take a pee in the pit? Who hasn't? So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. So with no further ado, Ryan and Johnny. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Whatever Buddy podcast. Episode 111. That's 3 1s in a row. 111 equals 3. That was my number in the only sport I ever played as a kid, which I sucked at because I got no athletic abilities. But my number was 3.
You have a lot of stuff on your head today. You got headphones coming out of your ears. You got glasses on your face. You got a hat on your head.
Well, I got to spice it up. I'll keep the hat on for just a couple of minutes, and then I'll take that shit off.
Here.
Oh,
there.
Look at you! You look all studious.
I know. I look handsome as shit in these glasses.
You look all studious. Look at that.
Yeah, dude.
You look like, no lie, that most people look older when they put glasses on. You just dropped 20 years off your age. Really? You just became a USC student.
Did I go from a hard 7 to a soft 8?
No, you're still a 6.
I got a little jumpy. Okay, all right.
Hey, but that's good segue.
Cheers.
I was talking because it's our buddy Elvis's birthday today. By the time this comes out, it ain't good. Happy birthday to you. Using a happy birthday kind.
Elvis, you, buddy. Happy birthday to yous.
To yous. By the time this comes out, it ain't going to be his birthday anymore.
Whatever.
But it got me thinking. I mailed Elvis when I joined Warner Drive, and that was like in 2008, dude. I joined December 8th, 2008. I joined Warner Drive. And I think about that.
I see where this is going.
Well, it's 14 years just like that. I can't believe it.
Flash.
Just like that. It's been Warner Drive, Bullets and Octane, now Mercury Riots. Now, granted, but Bad Romantics were in there. 10 years ago, the Bad Romantics debacle went down. Can you believe that shit? 10 years already. Hey, I don't care. So check it out.
What's happening, pal? I'm gonna get direct to the point because you told me something this week, and you said let's wait to talk about it. And now I'm really, really curious. All you said to me a couple of days ago was, I quote, "I had a gun threat."
Oh, yeah, dude, this was fucking crazy. So, Thanksgiving weekend, it's Sunday after Thanksgiving. I'm a nice guy. I agreed to take a friend to the airport, probably the dumbest thing that anybody could ever fucking do on this day of the year. Dude, it was the worst I've ever seen the airport. It truly was the ultimate gridlock. Like, it was just my God.
That's probably people coming back into town, correct?
And people leaving town. I was taking somebody to a departure. And
after Thanksgiving.
Well, the same reason people fly out of L.A. to go to Thanksgiving, people fly into L.A. to go to Thanksgiving too. Ever hear that concept? Crazy. It's a nutty one.
Whoa. I just got educated. Asshole.
Crack myself up.
It's actually funny.
I hate it very much when people cut into a lane after you've been waiting in a lane very long, when you're driving. That bothers me. I can understand why this would piss somebody off. If you can picture this, and I'll make it quick. There's one road called Airport Boulevard, and you got to turn right on Century Boulevard to go into the airport. I thought there was 2 lanes coming off of Airport Boulevard onto Century. I was wrong. When I realized I was wrong, I forced myself into the turning lane, which would have pissed me off. I probably would have blinked my lights because I'm a dick. Might have not even let them in because I can be a dick. But
it's your right.
But it was to my right, so I cut myself in. So next thing I know, I'm just sitting there. I look to my left and I see some lady yelling at me. I got my window up. I see some lady yelling at me in the car next to me.
What kind of a car was it?
It was a silver Mercedes. A silver Mercedes.
Neutral reaction.
Reaction. Yeah, it was a silver Mercedes.
Neither here nor there. It was a silver Mercedes and a woman. How old was this woman?
30s, maybe 40s. In a 4-door Mercedes coupe. I guess I call it a coupe or whatever.
A coupe would be 2-door.
So then I guess it's a 4-door. What do we call 4-door? A sedan. Listen,
let's go with a 4-door coupe for Johnny. She's in a 4-door Mercedes coupe.
He's in a 4-door Mercedes Coupe. We're rolling with it. So I see this lady. She doesn't look happy. And so I roll down my window and I'm like, hey. And she goes, if you do that again, I will shoot you. And I just looked at her and I said, well,
it's weird.
Yeah. I just go, well, that's not very nice. Right? Kind of pissed. And then I roll
Don't
up my
be
window.
mean to me.
Well, I'm just like, that's not nice. And then I roll up my window and I'm just sitting there. And I'm talking to the person I'm taking to the airport. And I couldn't wrap my mind around this one thought, Harris, that this person would have been willing to throw their entire life away over traffic. I'm going to go to prison because this person.
Okay, so see, you brought that to me as a gun threat. Technically, how serious was this woman?
Well, I don't know. We live in America, dude. People walk into places and shoot 10 people at a time for no reason whatsoever.
If you do that again, you just cut her off again. Well,
that'd be funny. But here's the thing, okay? Like,
but then you'd be in the wrong lane.
Let's say I was as crazy as this bitch was, right? And she threatens me with a gun, and I just pull one out and say, "Now what, bitch?"
Yeah, it's a super stupid thing to say to somebody.
It's a super scary thing.
It's so stupid.
Now, if she would have brandished that gun, I would have been a little freaked out.
Yeah.
But she didn't. But here's the thing. I'm not going to say her license plate on the air. Well, I don't give a fuck. I will. I don't care. I remember her license plate because it was personalized. So how dumb of a criminal are you to threaten somebody with a fucking gun and then have a license plate that basically is the word thank you in France?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's really, really dumb to do that.
Really dumb.
Really so
on so
dumb
many
to
levels. Because what if she did that to somebody
someone
who just pulled out a gun and
you? Yeah, someone follows you out of the airport back to wherever they feel like making their move.
You.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
No, real crazy shit there. So that happened to me. That was a great Thanksgiving for that. I'm thankful for that experience.
Is there any? Okay, I'm gonna bring out the Karen side of Ryan. Call it. Is there any?
You had a Karen
authority
moment?
No, I'm just saying. Like this is. I have a question, and it is a Karen-esque question. Is there any authority that you can go to for that kind of thing? I mean, what could somebody actually do?
I could have called the cops and said I was threatened by gun, and they would have
threat.
Well, if you said it was a gun, they would have pulled that bitch over in a second.
Oh, she had one. Yeah.
Well, not even. If I called and said some lady with this license plate just threatened to shoot me at LAX, they would pull that woman over. Here's the thing. Why I'm not going to do that? Because I don't want to get involved in that shit.
Yeah, then you have to go and face that person again.
If I felt truly threatened, I would have called the cops. I didn't feel threatened. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made such a snark response, which I thought was genius.
I don't imagine mid-30s something woman in a 4-door Mercedes coupe would have very good aim.
Girls aren't in gangs these days.
Yeah. Moving on, dude.
Touchy something.
I got
gangs,
one for you.
We're out of here.
Yeah, no. I went to the Roxy a couple days ago to see Tom Morello. Tom Morello was at the Roxy. It was great. Dude's rad.
Who's in his band?
His son. His 13-year-old son was. He only did a couple of songs with him, but kid jammed, man. Kid was awesome.
What instrument does he play?
He was playing guitar.
Was he as good as his dad?
Well, no, but his dad's a grown-ass adult. This kid was 13 years old, and he ripped it, man.
Seen some of these 6-year-old drummers out there make me want to quit. Yeah. Go on YouTube.
So my point before you disrupt my point, Johnny the Interrupter, the Roxy has officially lost it. It is not a cool place anymore.
Wow. Dude, I didn't see this coming. Tell me.
I remember playing there and thinking, like, the place is iconic. Still looks the same. It is so lame.
Lame how? Like, I mean, it looks like Fort Knox getting into the place.
Yeah, well, I'm walking up. I went with a friend of mine. We're walking up, and they have that little. They herd you to the side of the wall to go in. You know that little. What do you call it?
Line.
Yeah. What are those metal barriers called?
Fence.
Fencing. Yes, thank you. My words are hard today. Gate. Anyways, so I'm herded toward
metal mover.
We get in line, and there's probably 20 people in front of me. We're standing outside. You know what the sidewalk there looks like. And I see 2 security guards. Now, by security guards, I mean one was a dude about my size, and the other was a woman. And they were carding people and giving them bracelets because it was an all ages show. And if you're 21 and plus, they gave you a yellow bracelet.
Was it a crowded show?
Yeah, there was a lot of people. It was probably sold out. I think it was sold out because people were like trying to scalp tickets and everything. Which brings me to my next point. Before I get in line, a dude dressed, no judgment, dressed how he dresses, but he had marijuana leafed like pajama pants on. So there's that. He asked me if I had a ticket. I did not. I proceed to get into the line. I see these security people carding people and putting bracelets on. And the dude walks up to me and he goes, "How much have you had to drink tonight?" And I'm like, "Nothing." It was literally like, I think it was 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. He goes, "How much have you had to drink tonight?" I said, "Nothing." He goes, "Well, you were stumbling when you were walking up here." And I looked at him and I went, "You fucking with me right now, man? Like, you mess with me right now?" And he goes, "No." And I go, "Okay." I walked up with her. I was with my friend. And I was like, "You're messing with me." And he goes, "Well, after talking to you, clearly you don't look like, you don't appear like you were drinking. So, okay." And I went, "It's a weird question to ask, man. Like, what was that all about?" He goes, "Hey, man, my manager pointed you out, told me to come up and check on you." Meanwhile, dude with
Do you know who the manager is?
No, I don't. And I was
Stephanie's
like,
daughter.
Well, okay. I saw her there. She knows me. I don't know why.
She's the general manager of the Roxy.
I'm not saying it was her. I have no idea who it was.
Probably wasn't.
It's just like, dude, we're on Sunset Boulevard where you can throw a stone and find somebody. I don't want to be judgmental, but acted weird, and you're gonna point me out because. And then I'm sitting there for the first.
Did you trip her or something on the way up? Like, why would he even say that?
I don't know. And then it gets in my head. I get into the show and I'm going, is this guy like, am I unaware of something that I'm doing? Am I stroking out right now? And like, I need medical attention.
What's stroking out mean?
Like I'm
having a stroke.
Yeah, and I'm not aware of something going on with myself right now.
Stroking out. I don't laugh at anybody having a stroke, but that is, Johnny totally stroked out, bro.
It just makes me, maybe that naturally my hypochondriac brain goes, maybe there is something wrong with me right now. And my friend was like, "Dude, relax." I was like, "I know."
That would piss me off.
Say.
When did it turn into whiskey? When did it turn into whiskey?
And then on top of that, we go inside. I buy 2 drinks and it was $29.
Oh,
cool venue, bro. See you next time. I played there last November. The last November was my beginnings of thinking that this place sucks.
Why? What happened then?
Well, last November we played.
Well,
there.
you had your gig. I remember that.
Yeah,
what happened?
It was our show, and whatever. Dude, I'm not acting like anything, but my brother and my niece were there, and they tried to get in to watch us sound check, and they wouldn't let them in for sound check, and so I had to go get our manager to speak to the venue manager. I then went and spoke to the venue manager and got them bracelets. They took them through like a what
metal
are those?
Detector.
Metal detectors and everything is for sound check. I get security. It's important. Thank you for having those measures in place. But like, dude, here's my point. Not rock and roll anymore at all.
Well, you know that the Roxy was bought by Golden Voice.
Yeah. And it's completely
it's sort of more or less live. It's like Golden Voice is like Live Nation. So for those who don't know,
Golden Voice is the club level of Live Nation.
Not necessarily.
And festivals, to my understanding, is it not?
They do all sorts of stuff. They're just like the number 2 guy in town. Like Live Nation's got a monopoly, but Golden Voice, they do a lot of big shows as well. But they own the Roxy.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy. Our show. Thank you for that. But also,
but here's the thing. Now, because of Golden Voice, the Sunset Strip has totally gotten screwed in a lot of ways. You lost we've talked about this before. All the places to play are going away. Now, there's a couple of new places that have popped up. There's a new place in like the basement of a hotel. Not the basement, the street level of a hotel on Sunset. I guess that's the only thing. We walked by it during the pandemic when you and I were on a walk.
That big hotel.
Like I think where House of Blues used to be. I think.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was open, but I've walked. Yeah, is that a cool venue now?
Well, I know that a band in the rehearsal building has
gigs there.
Yeah. Speaking of which, just random thought.
It's like, dude, it's like right down the road for me. It's so easy for me to go check it out, and I just stay inside.
So, well, yeah, right. So, there's no place for bands to play on the Strip anymore, man. Like your best shot at getting, if you want to play on the Strip and you don't have a fan base, and this is the craziest thing to say, your best shot at getting a gig is to playing in the upstairs room at the Rainbow, which, when I moved to LA and going through the whole ranks of this whole thing, that wasn't a
venue. No, it was like after hours.
Every now and a thing, and that venue, that area, that's legendary shit, dude. Back in the 70s and the 80s, all the debauchery went on up there in those booths.
Hollywood vampires.
Dude, that's where it became from.
That was like a leave me alone private bar for rock stars.
Right. Like you couldn't get in there. So I was saying it was messed up that there's no place on the Sunset Strip, as we've talked about this before, for bands to play anymore. You lost the Cat Club. You got the Viper Room, which is really the only place. You got the Whiskey, but you're going to have to pay to play to there. It's so funny. Somehow I ended up on the Whiskey's band list, and like I'm getting emails like, we got these shows available. You just got to do it. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is like hilarious.
We're rescheduling our 21st show. Our December 21st show is being rescheduled.
Yeah, that's been going on. When's it going to be?
It was going to be at the Whiskey.
No, but when's the reschedule?
Don't know yet. Hopefully, like January.
So yeah, the only places to play these days are like the Rainbow, which is weird, upstairs in the Hollywood Vampires room, and not even the Roxy, because the Roxy's owned by Golden Voice. No local bands play at the Roxy anymore. So I feel bad. Now, granted, there's a whole slew of new stuff. I'm so out of touch with the local Los Angeles thing. I sought out where we're doing our residency. I'm going to mention our residency every episode until our residency, which is every Tuesday, Los Angeles, every Tuesday in Los Angeles at the Redwoods Bar downtown on 2nd Street at 9 o'clock. The Mercury Riots will be playing. That would be February 4th, February 11th, February 18th, and February 25th.
Okay, so four Tuesdays in February at 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Real time's 9 o'clock. Like 9 o'clock is real time. So if you show up at 9:30, you've missed half the show. With that being said, we picked that place out specifically. I don't know any other places downtown, but I wanted a place that reminded of us a place in Hamburg, Cowboy in Indiana, and that's why we picked this place, because it's right on top of the people. But that's the thing, man. The east side of LA, like East Hollywood and downtown and Highland Park. That's where the music scene is these days in Los Angeles. It's not on the Strip anymore. It just really is.
We talked about it last episode. Rock and roll, is it dead? Is it dead?
I don't think it's dead. I think it's coming back.
Well, it's been coming back. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the bands. I'm talking about the scene. When a new band starting out has a hard time getting booked because they don't have representation, but they don't have representation because they're new and they're starting out. That's always been
the thing, though.
Road.
What's tough is there's no music scene. And to be honest with you, in my entire life as a musician, one time, I'm part of the documentary, Kiss Me Now or Kiss Me Later, the Kiss or Kill documentary. It happened in Silver Lake for 5 years. And it was a thing where, like, in order to get a gig, you had to go and support. And it was the only time in Los Angeles next to Warner Drive shows. And even Warner Drive shows didn't do this. Warner Drive was packed every time we played, but it wasn't packed from the second the first band started playing. This thing was a scene. Everybody showed up every Tuesday. It was
wanted to see all the bands. They weren't
that was it.
Going for
and they stood at the front of the stage from 8 o'clock till 1:30 in the morning every night. And they called them the punters, all the people who were always at the front, because they were the people all in the front. And it was crazy because people who were just like fans of the bands ended up starting their own bands. And you couldn't get a gig there unless you went and supported. It was a really cool concept, and it worked. And bands started getting signed out of there. The Knives got signed. It wasn't because of Kiss or Kill, but it was a Kiss or Kill show where one record label said they'd sign us, and Virgin said, we're out.
Yeah.
I'm taking the hat off.
Well, it's funny, though, because they just canceled the Sick New World Festival, the Las Vegas.
Interesting.
I forget how many bands, lots of bands, but they canceled it because of lack of ticket sales. Now, general admission tickets started at $472, so there's that.
Started at what did they go? What did they go up to?
Who knows? Probably
started
thousands.
That's
started
fucking
at
crazy.
$472.
Can we look that up? Can we look it up while we're here? I want to know what you get for more than $472. Like,
give me a second and I'll look it up.
I would like to think that $472 came with unlimited drinks and unlimited buffet. Maybe?
What verbiage would you like me to ask the Google?
Google, whatever the name of this festival is called.
Sick New World.
Sick New World ticket options.
World ticket prices. It's going to probably say, well, this event has been canceled. How much do Sick New World tickets cost? Okay. General admission cost begins at $472 and VIP is a whopping $1,873.
Does it say what VIP comes with?
What does it come with? You get to hang with Metallica. I don't know. They were one of the bands that were supposed to be on there. Metallica was guaranteed $5 million for that show. Does that mean they don't get paid that?
They get paid no less than $1 million a show. No less. No,
I'm saying Metallica's guarantee for Sick New World was $5 million. That festival got canceled. What does that mean for their $5 million?
That means that they get to keep their deposit, probably.
Yeah. Do you know? I know you don't know, but what?
Well, the deposit would probably be half up front. Think about that. Between Linkin Park and
they were another band.
Metallica, the promoter probably lost $5 million. The promoter canceling the show probably was like, I'll lose money canceling the show. I will lose my ass by keeping it on.
How do you think that they would lose their ass by keeping it on? I'm just
because now they got to go
playing dummy.
Just those two bands, okay? They're getting $5 million apiece, okay?
Yeah.
That's $10 million just on those two bands. And you said there's a shit ton of bands. Give me another high-end band on there.
Oh, I just closed the article. Give me a second here, buddy. I'll pull it back up. Another high-end band.
Let me give you some perspective, only because I did some research recently on what some bands make. A band like Papa Roach on a regular show is going to get $250,000 to $500,000 a show, and that's not a festival. We both know festivals pay a lot more. Okay, If Metallica's getting $5 million for that show, my guess is they probably get $1 to $2.5 million on their regular shows.
We have,
and to be honest with you, they probably. Actually, Metallica probably does. Any Live Nation band just gets a lump sum from Live Nation, and then they just get an itinerary from Live Nation and says, go do these shows. But that lump sum is crazy.
If I'm being honest, I haven't heard of a lot of these bands.
So they save costs there.
Not that means anything. No, but here's the problem, though. This is why it got canceled, man. There's bands that I haven't heard of. Take that for what it's worth. They're doing something good. They're on that festival. It's not a knock on them. It's a knock on me because I didn't.
How bummed are you? However, are you one of those bands that's a smaller band?
So bummed because you finally get booked on something cool and they cancel it because you have these inflated prices on your legacy acts. They deserve it. But the gap between Metallica and let's see here, Drain STH.
That's a band from like the 90s. That band.
Whatever, but the point is that
you're talking probably $1,000 versus $5 million.
Yeah, and so whenever tickets aren't selling, it's because you're filling your. I'm riffing here. I'm not quite certain. I'm trying to grasp
what you're trying to say. This is what you're trying to say is you're putting bands that nobody knows on, and you're wondering why you're not selling any tickets.
Yes, and then you don't have the money to pay the legacy acts. They deserve that. Metallica deserves $5 million, in my opinion.
I guess. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the Stones get $8 million, so it's like well, they get $8 million on their own without a festival
show, though.
Yeah,
they're G's, man. They're like, we're not dealing with any of that. We're gonna play our own show. Maybe we'll have an opener. We're gonna play for an hour and a half. And I'm going to take a limo home.
And it's proven that being an opener for Rolling Stones has proven fatal for some bands, like Living Colour. Living Colour in that the Cult of Personality album, whatever that album is. They toured opening for the Stones, and their sound was so bad in the stadiums and stuff, it hurt them more than helped them.
Oh, like the actual
Like,
sound?
yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm not explaining this well, but I use them as an example because that was the article I read where they were like, in hindsight, we wouldn't have done that tour.
I would argue that opening for the Rolling Stones does nothing for your career. It's a great bucket list thing to have on your resume.
Yeah, like what I mean, you know what? It's a great thing to have on your resume, but it's even cooler to say I get to watch the Stones play every night. That would be the coolest thing about going on tour with the Stones. But I would agree with you. I don't know if that would like. I don't know. I think you're going to benefit a lot more if you're a rock band opening up for the Foo Fighters than you are the Rolling Stones.
I think it's the same thing. I think the Foo Fighters are big enough that people don't care there either. Again, it's very cool to do. I would absolutely do it. But it's more of a resume and like a, hey, I've done this thing.
I think a Foo Fighters tour would help because you got a lot of young people and it's a different kind of rock. I mean, like you go to a Stones show, I'd imagine you're seeing some people who could be the Stones age at those shows. You know what I mean? And even if you had people who are Dave Grohl's age, they're still not the Rolling Stones. That was bad logic. I take that back. Bad logic.
Yeah, I'll cut it out. I went to see I saw a Stone show in Pittsburgh in October of 2021. Ask me who opened for them.
Who opened for them?
Couldn't tell you.
I don't think they have openers now.
No, there was an opener. It was, I honestly, I forget the name of it. And they were good. I remember thinking they were good. But like, it was so obvious that they're on a Rolling Stones stage and their stage isn't activated yet. Meaning like their props are kind of like not lit. You know, there's a giant catwalk, but it's like
that you can't use it. Probably.
It's dark. And then you have this one little spot. Cause you know, like on those big stage tours, they give the opener their spot, you know, and they did their gig and they left. And then the Stones came out and blew the roof off the place. So 80 years old, still killing it.
I saw the Stones in 2003 at Angel Stadium. My friend Paul
Anaheim?
took me.
Is that Anaheim?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you who the opener was.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there was an opener. I don't know.
Now, that was a long time ago, and you're valid in forgetting because it's 20 plus years ago. But
21 years ago.
I could tell you who opened for Kiss when I saw Kiss.
Okay, let me think about that. I saw Kiss 3 times on the reunion tour, and I don't know if I can remember a single opener.
That was my first real concert, and I went there, and I remember sitting down, and
who opened?
I had front row center, dude. I was front
row
center.
For the reunion?
Really.
How much were those
For the
tickets?
reunion. I don't know. A friend of my father's had a hookup with tickets. I went with him, and I was front center. I was so close that Gene Simmons spit fire. My face got hot. It was life-changing. Anyways, Degeneration opened. That band, Degeneration.
Wow, Degeneration. Yeah, Todd Youth was in that band. Todd Youth's got a connection to your band.
And I remember, he wrote a song with us.
Well, I think he was a good friend of Nick's, wasn't
he? Yeah. I think he passed away, but yes. I remember sitting there watching the opening act as a young kid thinking like, this is so cool.
They must have been so stoked to be on that tour.
I don't know. Like, I think that's definitely in line of probably didn't do any good for them because people just want to see Kiss's reunion tour. But for me, here's the takeaway from it. Maybe I'm disproving my previous point. I sat there and watched it and dug it. It was so cool to me.
Didn't that reunion tour with Kiss is the reason why like Skid Row broke up because Sebastian Bach wanted to do it and the others didn't, and then Skid Row went out on tour with Kiss like on like the 2000 tour like 4 years later without Sebastian Bach.
I never heard that.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Like
so they were going to do a reunion and open for the Kiss.
They didn't break up yet. There was no reunion. It was 1996. It was like what caused the breakup in Skid Row had something to do with Kiss's reunion tour, the guys in Skid Row not wanting to do it, and Sebastian Bach wanting to do it. This is like apparently the final straw or some shit.
Really? Why wouldn't they want to do it?
I don't know. Fucking, I wasn't in Skid Row, but the kicker.
I mean, I wouldn't want to play with him.
4 years later, when they did the farewell tour,
right?
Skid Row went out as the opener without Sebastian Bach. Like the ultimate fuck you, bro. we're opening for Kiss now.
If that's a true course of events, that's
pretty.
I
don't know if that was I'm sure there was a lot of built up shit, but my understanding
Well, the reunion tour was in 96, correct? 96 or
right.
97.
And I believe that's when Sebastian Bach
I thought
left.
when did they break up? Skid Row broke up in...
They had 3 albums. Let's see. Skid Row.
They had 3? Original? I thought they had 2. What was the third one? Did it bomb?
Yeah. But apparently it was really good.
Their first 2 albums are incredible.
I didn't get into the second one. It's good. I mean, I really dig it. Slave to the Grind.
That album's so good.
The third album was Subhuman Race, and that came out in 95.
Weird, because that would have been album cycle type of touring, opening for Kiss. Why would you not? They're a big enough band that they could open for Kiss and benefit from it. It would be like...
Bach was fired amid rising tensions. Skid Row breakup, Kiss. Breakup because of Kiss tour. Let's see if this comes up.
Google. Did Skid Row break up because of Kiss? Gene Simmons takes credit.
Yes, Sebastian Bach was fired from the American band Skid Row in 1996 after the band turned down the opening slot.
What?
Yes, I love AI. This shit's fucking kind of cool, actually. AI tells me, yes, Sebastian Bach was fired from the American band Skid Row in 1996 after the band turned down an opening slot on the Kiss reunion tour. The argument: Bach had already booked the opening slot, but the other band members turned it down due to scheduling conflicts. Bach was angry and argued with his bandmates, leading to his dismissal. The band's reasoning: the other band members told Bach that Skid Row was too big to be an opening act. Oh. What a bunch of dicks. Now that's
I'm going on
up.
the record. I'm going on the record for the first time in my life. I got Sebastian Bach's back on this one.
I'm taking Sebastian Bach's back on this one too.
What?
100%.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Dude, how big is your head?
We're too big to be an opening act for Kiss on the reunion tour. I'm sure it was still paying good.
Holy shit! You got the gig of the year.
Yeah,
that tour was
the gig of that is a century, right? No, that's a decade. That's the tour of the decade. That was the tour of the decade.
And you're too big for it, you assholes.
No, I mean, if Sebastian Bach, no wonder he got into an argument with him. I would have gotten into an argument with him too. I probably would have gotten fired as well.
I'm that emoji right now with his head blowing up. Mind blown at that. The arrogance.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And what do you... oh my goodness. And they've done
it's funny you bring up this Kiss stuff. I was in a Kiss rabbit hole.
I don't have any words. Sorry, I
was in a Kiss rabbit hole on my wine bottle last night. There's this one video, I really love it. It's like backstage at Madison Square Garden, 1979 Dynasty Tour. It's awesome. And then there's it was really funny. It all started because I stumbled upon Backstage Kiss Farewell Tour 2000 East Rutherford, New Jersey, Part 1. That was the video.
Tour.
And I was like, Farewell Tour. I thought it was
24 years before the final show.
It was... You could tell, you could see the tensions though. That was the cool thing.
Was that the last original 4 tour?
That was the last original 4. You could tell that Paul Stanley just straight up did not like Peter Criss in this video. Yeah. Straight up wouldn't look at him.
Well, you know what the rumor has it with that is that Peter Criss's wife or girlfriend was his, like, call it personal handler, took care of his hotel rooms, took care of the details and all this stuff. And I guess she was supposedly a giant pain in the ass. And then Peter Criss found out that Ace Frehley was making more money than him.
Well, that I knew.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up. A lot more money.
Why?
Why?
Here's my why. Because
I have a retort already, but go ahead.
Real quick, they were no longer members of the band. They were hired guns. At that point, Peter and Ace were hired guns of the business Kiss. So they had individual management or representation, I would imagine, that negotiated their rate. So Ace got a rate negotiated. Peter got a rate negotiated. Why get pissed off when you find out that yours is less? Negotiate for more, right?
Fair. That's a good one. Now here's this just goes to show, like, all due respect to Peter Criss, through the years he's shown that he probably isn't the smartest tool in the shed. Just from his decisions through his lifetime. I think there's a record long enough of his life to know that you've made some dumb fucking decisions along the way. Okay?
Yeah.
As we all have. I'm not judging. I ain't judging. Trust me. Trust me. I would
put it more as stubborn. Not that he's not intelligent, that he's just stubborn and he can't like.
Okay. However you want to put it. What he
yeah.
should have done, and this is why I said the intelligent thing, because what he should have done is he should have had his lawyer talk to Ace's lawyer ahead of time and been like, why don't we go at this together so our dudes are getting the same shit? Now, this is why I say it's fucked up. They were a 4-piece that split everything equally prior to the original split when they were bought out. So to me, it only seems fair. Okay, I don't own the business anymore. I signed off on it. That's Gene and Paul. Those guys are going to make a lot more fucking money. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be making any money right now.
Yeah.
And I've been playing the Crocodile Rock, the Peter Criss Ace Frehley tour. I saw that the day after they did the reunion. They went from playing Crocodile Rock in Allentown, Pennsylvania, Ace Frehley band with Peter Criss band, where there's no way that at absolute most, they're getting $5,000 each band. At absolute most. And if I was to be honest with you, I would tell you at that point in time, in the mid-90s, before the reunion tour, that Peter Criss and Ace Frehley, their individual solo bands were probably getting about $2,000 a show, if I was to guess, you know. And if you take market value of what the dollar's worth now. With that being said.
So your original argument was...
I'm getting back to it right now.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Well, I'm just pointing out the facts, that there's facts here of why they should be grateful at the fact that they're getting the opportunity from Kiss to come back and and Gene and Paul are going to obviously make more money. However, my point is, if you're bringing back the 2 other original members, it doesn't make sense that if we were all making the same before, and we're not all going to make the same now, but I should be at least making the same as the other guy you're bringing back.
Yeah, but once again, that's not on Gene and Paul because they probably had nothing to do with that.
I'm sure they told their lawyers to fucking lowball them as much as you can.
And if it wasn't for them continuing for 15 years and keeping the name up, they wouldn't have had
And then
that
this goes back to my point
with.
about Peter again, dude. Hire a better fucking lawyer. Fucking, why isn't your lawyer trying to get you as much as possible? You knew how much money this fucking thing was going to make.
Yeah. That show was rad, though, dude. The one that I was in the front. I remember at the end of it, Paul broke his guitar and he how close
were you to getting it?
I mean, if I had, it was an arm's length from my arm's length away from me. Like I was, you know, obviously not going to get to it, but it was close enough that I thought I had a shot for a second. Also, had I caught that, it would have been a fight to keep on to it because everybody was going for it.
The first time I lived in Los Angeles was 1996. And I only lived here for 6 months before I had to go back to Philly, regroup, and bring it back, come back for school. My roommate knew a guy who worked at the Hard Rock Cafe in Newport Beach. And the Hard Rock Cafe in Newport Beach was sponsoring the Weenie Roast, the K-Rock Weenie Roast.
Yeah, cool.
Down at the whatever shed-like place they have down there. Irvine Meadows, I think it was called at the time. But the big surprise that they announced the week of the Weenie Roast was that Kiss was going to do a warm-up show for the reunion tour at it. Now, if you ever watched the documentary Second Coming, they show that there, the whole thing.
Test their pyro and test like it was like a live dress rehearsal.
Yeah, it was a full dress rehearsal, and Ace lit they lit the fire and the lights and shit. But it was an accident. Like there was like a real oh God, there's an accident. Anyway, my buddy's friend who worked at the Hard Rock Cafe got us a bunch of Hard Rock shirts and Hard Rock aprons and dressed us up as Hard Rock employees to sneak us into the show. And I snuck in and saw the very first reunion tour show at the Weenie Roast in the front row. Not the front row, but in the front for free.
The good old days of being able to sneak into shit.
I did the same thing when I went to go see, it was in Philly. I went to go see Jimmy Buffett. My friend's dad was a
buffet.
Buffet. He sold soft pretzels, you know, like at the events. Okay. So he gave us soft pretzel aprons, and we carried in a thing of soft pretzels and walked into the show.
I love
that. My dad used to say the funniest thing to me. He, God rest his soul. In Philadelphia, when you get off at the exits off the freeway, there's dudes selling soft pretzels. It's like a Philadelphia thing. My dad used to always say to me, where do you think he washes his hands? I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, he's going to have to take a piss during the day. You know, because all the pretzels are in a bin, and then they break them off and put them in the bag. So he's just like, so where do you think he washes your hands before he touches the pretzels and puts them in the bag?
It's a very good point.
Such a good point.
It's like whenever you leave the Hollywood Bowl and they have all that street meat, they're cooking it on like literally like cellophane or like tin foil.
That just sounds like a code name for prostitute.
Yeah, it smells so good. It smells so unbelievably good. You know what I'm talking about, man.
But you know, you're smelling the onions is what you're smelling. That's the weird
smells
thing.
So good, but I've never brought myself to buying one. I think that's probably a good decision.
No, but you know what though? I bet you it's the worst decision because I bet you it's the best thing you ever eaten.
Well, no, I guarantee it's probably delicious, but then also like it's being cooked on like a piece of like whatever, like aluminum foil and like a rusty cart.
Oh yeah,
it's
like sausages.
Yeah.
What were you about to say?
I was about to say, before we get out of here, I found something. I truly, truly hope this is real, but even if it's fake, I think it's awesome, and I would like to share it with you. Hang on.
Okay. Hope it's going to make me laugh. New product allows you to go potty.
Check it out. Okay, so these
amazing.
are called pit diapers. You know, when you're at a show and you don't want to lose your spot, but you got to take a piss because you're on the floor and you're surrounded by. You're never going to get back to that spot. So new product allows you to go potty without leaving the pit at shows. Now, I was totally following this. Okay. New product brought to you by Liquid Death and Depends. Okay. Like the little, what do you call it? Panty liners. Depends.
Wait, what?
Depends. Like diapers.
Oh, Liquid Death, the water company.
Liquid Death, the water company, and Depends, the diaper company. Yeah. So I'm following this. Pit diapers. This is a great idea. This is fantastic. Okay. It's a bit of a battle, but with an absolute worst consequence of being in the pit is having to use the bathroom. If you don't want to risk losing your spot, then you pretty much can't leave. By the way, that concert at the KISS show, the reunion tour that I was at, there were people pissing all around me.
Really?
Just going. Yeah, just whipping it out and going on the floor.
That's crazy. I've never seen that happen at a show.
Now, here's the rub. Here's the rub, Johnny. Look what the pit diapers look like. Are you ready for this? You ready for this?
It looks like it's got the Bolton Octane bad motherfucker logo.
That's what the pit diapers are. Okay, so if you're listening to this and not watching on YouTube, first of all, go to YouTube. But it is a leather. It's a leather cod piece. It's a leather cod piece with spikes coming there.
Do you wear that underneath your pants?
It'd be a shame to. It'd be a shame to wear that underneath something because you're not.
You would look like you were wearing a diaper.
You'd look like you're in.
So you meet a chick in the pit. You're like save her from getting killed. She thinks you're cute. You know, she wants to hang out, and the whole time you know you're wearing a diaper.
She's like, "Hey, you want to go get a coffee after this show?" And you look her square in the eye and say, "I'm actively pissing right now."
And on that note, everybody, thank you for joining us on another episode.
Wait, real quick.
Well, real quick. We got more.
So I hope we could show this. It has a promo video, and this promo video is what makes me think that it might be a joke, but I think this is a good ending note.
All right. There's a promo video for this? This got better. This is amazing.
The scariest place at a show isn't the mosh pit. It's the bathroom. Mile-long lines, slipping on pit, and toilets filled with puke. What's a music fan to do? Introducing the Pit Diaper from Liquid Death. Now you never have to leave the pit or worry about leaks ever again. Powered by Depend Guards, the Pit Diaper locks away recycled Liquid Death mountain water, flavored sparkling or iced tea, and helps neutralize odor instantly. The Pit Diaper offers trusted all-show protection. And with Pit Diaper's
catch the fart at the end of that?
No one will ever notice you're wearing it. It's the only diaper crafted from premium cruelty-free pleather. And it's also the only diaper endorsed by metal drummer Ben Kohler. Wow! So skip the dangers of a mid-show bathroom break and stay in the safe confines of the mosh pit. Get your limited edition Pit Diaper by Liquid Death and Depend today. Hurry, supplies are extremely limited. Now, thanks to the Pit Diaper, you can rock out with your in.
I would venture to say that's fake.
Yeah. I know.
But at first I didn't think it was fake because they were like putting the panty liners in there.
It's so great.
But once they were like an iced tea, I'm like, all right, it's fake.
and then the mannequin has like that beer gut.
I didn't see that, but the fart at the end of the guy's like pissed, and he's like, yeah.
Well done. Well done.
All right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Whatever Buddy podcast. Episode
WBB.
111. That's 3 ones. 1 equals 3. But it's episode 111. You get the point. Thank you. Like, subscribe, report. You know the drill. Hit the ding, the button.
Hit the dingy.
The whatever, the bell. They
Send
say
Johnny
hit the bell.
a DM.
Every time you hit the bell, apparently this shit helps us. So thank you. We'll see you next time, and you guys have a great 2 weeks. Until then, see you later.
See ya.
And on that note,